Welcome to Fantasy45 podcast. It's episode 3, week 8, and we're in the thick of it here at Fantasy45. We already got endorsement deals. We already got a celebrities con that's supposed to be on the show. We have a few all-pro players coming on later today. You can expect that to happen. We're just making it. And if you doubted us before, it's too late. It's too late for you. Your time has passed. We have supporters who are there the whole time, and they're making it with us. I just bought my mom a car. I just bought my dad a house. I just bought my sister tuition. And so they believed in me the whole time. And my friends out there who are giving me calls who I haven't talked to in months, it's over between us. Yeah. It's kind of just what I wanted to just get that off my chest.
Shout out Noah's mother,
yeah,
the first loyal fan of Fantasy45.
First loyal fan.
If you're out there listening, thank you.
And actually, finally, my dad listened to the podcast yesterday, and I didn't realize that I really cared about that, but I got to be honest with the viewers here because we're on this podcast, and I did, and he finally listened to it, and he was like, here, I'll pull up the text, actually. Freaking dad. He said, drum roll. Okay, well, because of the Mac's not loading, y'all know that sucks. So let's continue. I don't even care what my dad thinks. It doesn't matter. My mom's what's important. Let's get started with Texas football. We are a bunch of UT Austin students. We love us some Texas football. Last week, who predicted us to lose?
I did.
Jared had the loss. Noah and I felt.
What a terrible, terrible game. If you didn't see it, all we needed was a touchdown from like the 6 or 7 yard line. It was third down. If not, we could have kicked a field goal and put it into triple overtime. And our boy, Sam Ellinger, decided to pass it, not throw it away, to just give a little nice little lob pass to one of the Oklahoma State players. And he said, thank you so much. And he ate that football right up, and the game was over. What a terrible, terrible loss. This week, we are playing Baylor.
At Baylor.
Are they still owing whatever?
They have not won a game yet.
Did not won a game. I'm going to go on a limb here and say we win. Well, we know we're going to win. The margin is going to be.
And I hope so.
I don't know, though. But you want to know. Let's just say we know. The margin's going to be 4 possessions.
4 possessions.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean?
So, in between. Actually, I don't know what that means. Let's just go with 25 points.
25 points. I'm going to take Texas, even though Shane Buechele is starting. Sam Ellinger's out. I say we win by 17.
Jared?
Well, right now this point spread's about 8.5 points.
Yikes.
In favor of Texas, and I like to go against Texas, but I think it's kind of hard to do that on this one. So I'm going to pick Texas by 14 points.
Fake fan.
I'm not a fan.
And I quote
of Texas.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Oh, you're not a. Are you a?
I'm not
you
a
want to
fan.
see Texas win?
Right, I do want to see Texas win.
But you're
but
not.
I'm not a
fan
fan of being let down.
Gotcha.
In every aspect of college football.
Oh,
from both UT.
I have to agree with that. Okay, let's get started into the real league we care about so much. Let's just talk about our fantasy teams real quick. And I just want to say, so 4-3 in one league. I'm definitely gonna win the championship in that. Shout out to Joey, Sopranos League. If I lose the championship, y'all can call me out. Then I got the league here in Texas, and I have 2 in a row. So I was 1-4. Now I'm 3-4. I'm up and coming. I got my boy Mark Ingram on the roster. Finally, told you guys to do that. You're gonna thank me later if you did. And I like it. I'm playing the 6-1 guy this week. He has Todd Gurley on bye. I gotta put myself on top as a prediction. Last keeper league, not looking good. Might have to start prepping for next season, but you always gotta stick in there. 3-4 right now. How about you guys? How you doing?
I had a roller coaster of emotions last week in my matchup. So, the beginning of the morning games, I wasn't looking very good. I have Jameis Winston, Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas. Then they all kind of exploded in the fourth quarter, and I was feeling really good going into the afternoon games. but my matchup had Zeke, who then explodes for 40
Yeah,
points.
how do you do?
Had 40.4 in my Yahoo half PPR. And even with Zeke's performance, I still had about a 90% chance of winning going into Monday Night Football. I was up about 32, and my matchup had Wentz, and I had Philadelphia's kicker. After Wentz threw his 4th touchdown pass, I was down a 3/100ths of a point, or
32?
3/10ths.
Didn't he score like 28?
No, in this league he had 38.
Gotcha. Some whack
I went
scoring.
down after Carson Wentz's 4th touchdown by like less than a point. And then Kirk Cousins thankfully threw a pick, put Philadelphia right in field goal position. Jake Elliott, if you're listening, thank you so much.
He will be on the show.
And
later.
he will be on the show later. And he made that field goal. I win by 4.
We don't usually have kickers on the show, but because
Normally we have punters, but
right,
this week's a little different.
yeah.
Into my matchup.
Only Sam Coach
Sam Coach.
or the goat punter who plays for yours truly, the Texas Longhorns. But Jared, how you doing?
First off, Marquette King is the best punter in the league. Just
Okay.
getting that out. Okay, so last week, I had the complete opposite type of week. From the beginning, straight off to a hot start, I had Alex Smith, Amari Cooper, and Harris Butker. Every single one of them went off. Smith had over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Everybody knows about my
You know,
boy
it helps.
Amari Cooper.
It helps when you're a stubborn Raiders fan.
It definitely helps. It helps when you pick the
Have
Raiders
you
to
sat Amari
upset.
Cooper all year?
I traded for Amari Cooper last week.
Wow, impressive.
I traded Pierre Garcon and
You know, it's
Zach
widely
Wilson.
known that Jared is the stupidest member of this podcast.
That's
but
true.
I gotta give it to him on this one. Good
Also,
job, Jared.
also picked up Jordan Reed last week
Oh, wow.
before his 2 touchdowns.
Traded or picked him up?
I traded for him. I traded Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, good one.
Good one. So,
He also moved Mike Evans and picked up T.Y. Hilton in that deal.
and Duke Johnson, but
What?
I'm sorry.
All right, I take away everything I said about Jared.
that was a
Sorry.
little rough.
All right, let's move on.
I got the win. That's what matters.
That is what matters.
That's what it all comes down to.
Takeaways from last week. But wait, before that, let's talk about our picks from last week. I think I picked. Who did you guys pick for the upset?
I had my dumbass picked San Francisco over Dallas.
Nice.
Not good. More on San Francisco later.
Okay.
I obviously had the Raiders over the Chiefs, and who knows? You know, the Raiders are just good. That's what it is. Last week, Mark Cooper had a ball game. Derek Carr's back. That final touchdown, wow. It was just incredible.
Yeah. And obviously, my ride or die for 1 week in all aspects, the Arizona Cardinals could not get it done against the Rams. I don't know how much they lost by, but let's just move on.
More on last week as well. Notable predictions,
No,
picks
Just
from
a
players.
quick notable one from our host, Noah.
Noah
Hopsfeld.
was feeling Adrian Peterson so much, and he resulted in
I
was
just want
it?
to say,
He got the carries too, and he's still.
when you look at the when I made the prediction, you can't predict that Carson Palmer is going to be out for the
11
season.
carries, 21 yards.
You cannot predict that Carson Palmer will be out for the season.
Pretty solid. Also stated he would outscore Todd Gurley by 5 points, and
I don't
that's
know where
just
you're going with
stupid.
that one.
It was close.
I'd like to go with my truth from last week, Jarvis Landry. I picked him spot on. I said 70 yards and a touchdown. He went for 90 and a touchdown.
I went with Mixon last week, and he got the yards. I think it was around 50, which was around 30 less than I picked. Didn't get the touchdown, but I still like Mixon going forward. I think that offense is going to ramp it up. I think the Steelers are a bad matchup. The Steelers have a history of dominating the Bengals in the recent years, but I like Mixon a lot this
He
year.
also plays Indy, so.
Right. All right, let's
I think another prediction from last week that we can finally resolve is the Aaron Jones and Ty Montgomery
Yeah.
deal. Unfortunately, Noah and I
BB.
were on the Big B. We
Ty
were on
Montgomery's
the
side.
side of Ty Montgomery.
And your smart analyst on the board went with Aaron Jones.
yeah.
He
Ty
carved,
Montgomery is on special teams.
as a UTEP minor, he carved up Texas last year,
True.
and he's now
Yeah.
making a name for him in Green Bay.
Jones is
Also,
looking good.
before we move on, A name that some of y'all don't even know, even if you listened to the podcast last week, Benny Fowler.
What a guy.
Jared was so high on him. I mean, he's in Mile
What a
High.
guy.
And simply did not produce the way Jared expected him to. Yada, yada.
Okay, 5 receptions, 45 yards. If you had him in a PPR, he's a decent flex play if you had people on bye, if you needed someone to start.
We are a standard league podcast. Officially.
Can you get your PPR pretentious ass out of here, please?
Pretty
Excuse me.
pretentious.
I find that quite
I don't know what PPR stands. Pretty.
Pretty
We'll figure that.
pretentious.
Get rid of you with it. All right,
Yeah,
that didn't
we'll
work
go
out.
with that.
All right, let's talk about takeaways from last week. I'll get started. What an ugly game for the New England Atlanta game that everyone was so hyped about. You know, both teams weren't looking as hot as they were last year. New England's defense is ranked 32nd in passing defense. Matt Ryan's not the MVP, to put it lightly, for this season, and it just wasn't a fun game to watch. Matt
Throw
Ryan
in the
couldn't get it
fog.
done. Julio got a garbage time touchdown. That's about it. And then everyone
good
else
game,
on that
though.
offense, just looked shitty. And to be honest, I don't really like Atlanta offense going forward unless they have a really, really good matchup, which they do this week against the Jets. But they had that really, really good matchup against the Pats last week. I like them. If you don't have other options this week, I think obviously Freeman is an every week start. I like Sanu this week at flex, but I think going forward, Atlanta isn't. You cannot consider Atlanta, and especially Matt Ryan, of those upper tier quarterbacks. If you have Matt Ryan and he's been your franchise guy so far, go for one of those surprising guys. Go for an Alex Smith. Go for Deshaun Watson. You got a quarterback at the end of the day is the highest scoring position. It's important to have that guy on your team. Any takeaways from last week, Mike?
The Jaguars. Yes, your Jacksonville Jaguars, the
before-
laughing stock of football for the
Before you
past
continue-
decade.
Before you continue, I just want to. This is the 2 out of 3 times right now. We have Mike coming in on a Thursday night wearing his pristine,
This isn't official.
and this isn't his old rusty Jalen Ramsey jersey.
No faded
We're talking
shit.
about some pearly white jersey. You got the Jag shield.
Fournette.
Leonard Fournette coming in, walking in
Okay,
here.
I gotta say, is Leonard Fournette a top 2 running back in the NFL? Not
I like him
fantasy-wise.
more. Oh,
Top 3 running back. Probably.
I think so.
I think he's top. I think he's 3rd right now, behind Bell and Gurley.
whoa! I'm going Bell and Zeke. I think Zeke still. I'm going Bell. and
Zeke's
then
a
I
little
think
too
it's-
full of himself this year. He hasn't been
he's-
himself.
But his all the off the
Yeah.
field issues have really played.
I think it's hard to pull one of those away from the other.
I'm going.
I think they're in a class of their
I'm going
own.
in terms of talent. I'm going Bell. Very close, but I'm still gonna put Zeke above Fournette.
I think Fournette's way more talented.
Really.
Yeah, I like Fournette better.
I mean, the difference between Zeke and Fournette is Fournette doesn't have a passing offense. Zeke is working with a passing offense that's really
which
powerful.
opens up.
And Fournette
Right.
has
And he's
faced
got
the
a better
most 8-man boxes, as well as his
If
backup Chris
Fournette, if
Ivory.
this trend continues,
But Fournette
who
can
will be drafted next year first overall?
could be
Got-
Saquon Barkley. I mean,
No, on the 49ers or the Browns? I don't think so.
are you gonna go wrong with Saquon
but
Barkley?
Saquon Barkley's going top 5.
my question was between Bell and Fournette. Who do you like?
Oh, Le'Veon.
Or David Johnson?
David Johnson.
I got you gotta go Le'Veon.
We got to see how David.
All right.
All right, so my takeaway. Can I get into
Go for
what I
it.
was gonna say before I got derailed?
Sorry.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, yes, those Jaguars, the laughingstock of the National Football League for the last decade,
With the Browns.
are a playoff team. They're 4-3 going into their bye, and they face.
What kind of fantasy relevance does this have?
I'm just speaking as a fan of
You're
football.
speaking truth.
As a fan of football, they play both no-win teams in the Browns and 49ers left. They still play the Chargers, all 3 AFC South teams again. Throw in Cincinnati. These are winnable games. They could win 10 games.
I do think they're a playoff team, but is Bortles a playoff quarterback?
Hell no. Absolutely not.
You can't win.
They're trying to mimic the 2015 Broncos Peyton's farewell tour when Peyton, all he did was come up to the line, check the play into the right play, and then just either throw it 5 yards or hand it off to C.J. Anderson.
Right.
And just let the defense just carry them.
I mean, it worked.
If they get ahead and can establish the run, they can beat anyone because they then just let their secondary and pass rush just eat on the quarterback that's trying
I think if they can make a trade and maybe get one offensive weapon in the receiving game, what do you think?
Well,
I wouldn't do it.
They got D.D. Westbrook coming back after the bye week this week, supposedly.
He could be exciting.
I'm excited for D's return.
DD.
I don't think you trade for a quarterback. I don't think you do any of that. I think you either
We're
target.
not a quarterback.
I know,
Yeah.
but people talk about Eli or something like that. You target Kirk Cousins or in the draft.
Gotcha.
I would like Lamar Jackson in a Jaguars uniform.
Wow. Bold statement there. I don't know if that power running game works well with that mobile quarterback, but we can talk about it later. Let's move on to our game of the week. We're each going to talk about a game that has our eyes and our eyebrows popping up. This week, the game that intrigues me the most, we're going Houston, Seattle. One of the hottest fantasy players this season, Deshaun Watson, has...
Deshaun.
What did I say?
Deshaun.
Deshaun? Okay. Well,
Deshaun.
sure. Good job, guys. Let's all give everyone give a round of applause. All right. Deshaun Watson. Can he do it against Seattle again? He's had, I think it's 4 in a row with 3 touchdowns. Really, really impressive start to the season. He's second right now in quarterback scoring, and he didn't even start the first game of the season.
How do you like him against the Seattle D, though?
I think it's his first true test.
He's going to be, first true test. I think he's going to still be a top 12 play. I think he'll put up 2 touchdowns, 225 yards. He's going to be a fair start, but he hasn't seen anything like this yet.
Yeah.
Will Fuller is going to be shut down. Hopkins will have a good game, but it's going to be a new kind of game for Watson. Assuming you picked up Watson off the waivers, you had a QB1 before.
He's got to be a QB1.
Now, or now would be the time to sell him before this week. If you're really comfortable, if you have a great record,
Don't sell
if you have
Deshaun.
if you have a Drew Brees type or Tom Brady type, and you're comfortable up there, and you need your week at receiver or your week at running back, and you can really get good value for him, I would send him away.
All right.
He's definitely
Cool.
a sell high right now, but
Yeah.
still, I think you got to keep him no matter what.
In terms of Lamar Miller, I think he'll have an okay day. I don't know if he'll find the end zone, but he's definitely I think a running back 2 every week. And then on the other side of the field, Seattle, that running game is in disarray. You really can't start anyone unless you're really, really desperate. Maybe Rawls in the backfield. I really look forward to seeing what they can put together. Rawls has been successful in the past. It's just that O-line is trash right now. So we'll see what goes on with that. Receiving-wise, I like Baldwin going forward. Baldwin's a second half of the season kind of guy. He's exciting in the second half of the season. He had a great game last week. Graham is, even when he does well, I just don't like Jimmy Graham unless he's on the New Orleans Saints. Let's hear about your guys' game of the week, brought to you by AJ. Need a roommate who has a really nice $200 mic for your podcast that you and 2 of your buddies just started for no reason and are not qualified to do? Go to AJ for mic.
I love it.
Yeah. Cannot say it enough. Shout out to AJ.
Weekly shout out to AJ. Weekly shout out to AJ! And Mike, go for it.
I'm looking forward to Panthers Bucks.
Ooh.
Several reasons, just as a fan of the game, because that NFC South is anyone's to take. The winner of this game could start looking towards claiming that division, but Carolina had a terrible game last week. That offense, one of the most bizarre games I've ever seen in my life.
Are the Bears' defense legit? Is the Bears' defense legit?
It's a solid defense. I don't
Right.
think you're not going to expect that out of them every week.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting to see how Cam bounces back, if he can get his receivers involved, if McCaffrey can, establish
Who wins
some
the
sort of.
NFC South?
I think the Saints.
Saints, yeah.
Saints.
Saints are looking like
And
that
then
Super Bowl
I'm
contender,
always interested to see how the Bucks do on offense. They're so talented, and Winston really didn't have much going until the fourth quarter. Threw 3 touchdowns, 2 to O.J. Howard, and then the last one to Mike Evans. But I mean, you got a lot of mouths to feed. I don't like OJ Howard as much as people are.
I think it was a fluke game.
Because
you look at the stats, and Bright still had 8 or 10.
His 50-yard touchdown. It was a broken coverage. There was literally no one there.
I still like Bright as the weekly guy.
Yeah.
He's a must start. He's gotten at least 10 points in
a keeper league, maybe OJ. But.
And I like Winston this week. It's another challenge. Carolina secondary has been playing well, but I mean Buffalo secondary is playing really well, and Tampa managed to carve it
I
out.
really like Cam Newton this week. What do you think?
Yeah, Tampa's defense has struggled.
Their pass defense,
they let Buffalo and rush defense. To be honest, their defense has been suspect. I like all the Panthers.
Okay, all the Panthers.
All of
Jay Stewart. Never Jay Stewart.
I mean, his value's better than what it is, but I still don't value him that high.
All right,
gotcha.
So my game of the week is going to be Dallas, Washington. This is an interesting game mainly because of the Redskins offense. We kind of know everything that's going on with the Cowboys. Obviously, Zeke's a must-play. Dak's a must-play. We know all that. For the Redskins, though...
I'm going to just smack something on the wall real quick. Dak is going to end the season at number 2 in quarterback fantasy points.
Wow.
Smack it on the wall. I think we need to bring some more... Our week 1, we had a lot of smack on the wall. That's where we started to get our big following. I think we need to up the smack on the wall.
We'll do it, yeah.
I think so,
all right, yeah. Go for it. Sorry to interrupt.
Are you good? So, for the Redskins, though, I love Chris Thompson in PPR leagues, half PPR leagues. No PPR leagues, I think he's still a good flex play, but who knows? Chris Thompson, he's had one game where he's had under 5 points. Pretty much every other game this season, he's had over 10 points. He's been a solid running back too.
It's a very bold claim.
Let me just say
saying
something
Chris
real quick.
Thomps's a PPR god, considering
He's 6th in average points in standard leagues. He right now, until you have reason to doubt, he's an RB1 in standard leagues.
Is good. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but
No,
no, you
that's
said a
saying-
flex play. I'm going.
Okay.
and you're saying like I'm liking him as opposed to what his value
Right.
might
If
be.
you had the
It's
cojones,
not a bold claim at all.
if you had the
It's a little
cojones
bit
to
of a
pick him
bold
up,
claim.
no, it's not. If you had the cojones to pick him up
Should've.
early in the season, I mean, you're a happy camper. That Redskins offense is nothing like anyone expected. Obviously, Reed got in last week a little bit, so that was a change of pace.
Terrell Pryor getting dropped in leagues, and to
Right.
be honest, no one's going to pick him up.
Crowder,
Josh Dawson's now the starting X. What do you think about him?
I like him, but
any Redskins receivers except for the running backs.
the thing is that he's going to have a really good game one week, and he's going to be really inconsistent. He's going to be relying on a deep ball touchdown.
Worth an ad.
So if you start him every week, you'll get that breakout game.
right.
Whereas if you don't start
I
him
think-
every week, you're going to miss the breakout game and then start him after. and you're not
In
gonna
good
do as well.
matchups, I think Dawson is a good flex play. Other Crowder and Pryor. The interesting thing about the Redskins is they have kind of new kind of teams coming up. They started the year off with pretty mediocre defenses. We got Eagles, Rams, Raiders, Chiefs, 49ers, Eagles, all subpar defenses. We got some more formidable defenses coming up. Seahawks, Vikings, Giants, Chargers, Broncos. So, I mean, with these kind of really good secondary, kind of good linebacker defenses coming up opposed to what they've had already, I think that the offense might start to change a little bit. I think they might not be able to rely on Chris Thompson. I think teams are starting to be able to adjust to that offense. So I think Pryor and Crowder and especially Dawson can have comebacks. I don't think you are keeping them any value that they were at the beginning of the season. But I'm going to smack it on the wall that I think that those receivers have little upticks in production, and Chris Thompson, who is one of my sell highs we'll talk about later, has a little downtick in production in the second half of the season. Anything else from Jared?
From that game, I think you pretty much covered it. So I think we're good on that one.
Okay.
Let's go to our upsets of the week.
Upsets of the week.
I am sticking as my stubborn self in that the San Francisco 49ers will win at some point this year. Philadelphia is due
Against the number one-
Philadelphia is due for some sort of letdown. 49ers over Eagles.
I want you to look me in the eye, and people at home with your families and your TV dinners, you have to believe that this is happening right now. Look me in the eye and tell me that you're not doing this for the fame or the fortune or the comedic purpose. That you really believe in your heart the 49ers will beat the Eagles.
The Kyle Shanahan led
No.
San Francisco 49ers will go into Philadelphia, Pennsylvania,
the most overrated
and
running back
beat
in the league.
the Philadelphia Eagles. It will happen.
Oh
There's
god.
just absolutely no way that.
We gotta do it. We gotta just do a huge spread here. In terms of slap, we have one slap bet of the year. If the 49ers win, you can slap me every episode for the rest of the season. If the Eagles win, you give me $1.
Deal.
All right.
$1.
Deal.
Hands have been shooken.
Let's smack it on the board.
Smack! Jesus Christ, Jared! Why do you think we practice saying smack it on the wall for 30 minutes before every episode? It's so you don't say fucking bored. I cannot. Sorry, everyone.
He's too busy looking up Raiders stats. He's all things in-house Oakland Raiders.
He's too busy blocking websites that say that you should sell Amari Cooper. All right, let's move on. My upset is, and you guys heard my distaste in the Falcons earlier. I'm going Jets over Falcons. The Jets. Josh McCown is looking hot. That running game, I think, is gonna get going. I think Forte is still talented. It just, I guess some dirty looks. I'm kind of scared.
No
now.
way.
But one quick thing, Jermaine Kearse, who's in the around 14, 15 in overall in standard scoring, and people just disrespect him for the name and the team. You know, you got the Jets receiver, and people don't pick him up. I picked him up this week in 2 of my leagues, and I kind of looked at myself in the mirror and said, Noah, come on, what are you doing? It's Jermaine Kearse. He's a stud. And kind of the same thing with the name with Nelson Aguilar.
USC grad. Not a grad, actually.
Yeah, shut up. Oh, God. Rough.
Stop talking.
But he's 9th overall in standard right now, and that's crazy. So go check if those 2 guys who don't have great names are on the waiver right now.
On the
Pick them
Jermaine
up.
Kearse trend,
Yeah.
it's very interesting because I thought this is very low as to what I expected. He has, other than week 1 where he had 7 catches, the most catches he's had is 4.
He's a standard league guy.
Yeah.
Touchdowns, but he's getting it done.
Yeah.
Let me
I
just
like
say
him.
one more thing about that game. Josh McCown will outscore Matty Ice.
Wow.
And you can smack that on the wall.
Honestly, Josh McCown was one of my you need to add as a backup quarterback at this point.
I think if you have the
Even
space,
Do you
could be a
need a
starter.
backup quarterback regardless?
If
I
you
don't
have a
think
bye
so.
week lots
You have
of
a bye
buys
week.
coming up, right?
bye week coming up. He's a good at it, especially. Let's just look
That's
at
why you draft Jameis Winston, get your bye week over week 1.
That's a good point. New York schedule. We have We have Falcons, not a great matchup. Bills, not a great matchup. But Buccaneers and then Chiefs, Saints are all great bye week fill-ins. So I think that's all I have to say on the upset. Go for it, Jared.
Okay, so my upset of the week is the Bears over the Saints. The Saints right now are 7.5-point favorites. I don't know why I think the Bears could win this. I just do for some reason. Jordan Howard is just a good running back. Doesn't get enough touches sometimes.
Doesn't get enough touches. He had 36 carries 2 weeks ago.
Weeks ago.
Mitchell Trubisky threw the ball 7 times. How does their running back not get enough touches when their quarterback throws
Because
7
they couldn't get a
times?
first down to save their lives.
I bet Jordan Howard had over 25 carries.
Last week he did not. You can look that up.
He had 21 carries.
Oh
Still
my God.
Not
He
enough?
should be getting at least 25 a week.
Oh my God.
At least 25.
And that's
a
been
week.
another stupid comment from our in-house
Interesting tidbit
idiot.
is that the Falcons have now played the entire AFC East in 4 weeks. Well, they had a bye, so in 5 weeks. Very interesting in that they've gone 0-3, and this is their last game, and it's against the New York Jets. I don't see them losing, but, I mean, is Noah smarter than me? That's up for you to decide.
Definitely not.
But interesting fact.
Okay, let's move on. Who's your guys' truth? Are we doing truth of the rest of the season, or are we doing truth?
Just for the week.
Just the
Let's
week.
go for the week.
Yeah.
And I'll start, and I'll go with my man Keenan Allen.
Wow.
He's been a little low recently, and I'll get into him later as well.
Why
But
not get into him now instead of later?
well, he's also my buy low candidate. So when a little sneak peek.
All right.
But I see Keenan Allen, who's been the targets have still been there, but he's got a great matchup against the Patriots. I say he finds the end zone, 70 yards and a touchdown for Keenan Allen this week.
My truth this week is Christian McCaffrey
Good pick.
against Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay defense is in rambles. It's going to be a high-scoring game, at least on one side of the ball. I like Christian McCaffrey a lot this week. I'm going to put him at 15 standard, and let's go 12 standard, 16 PR.
That's not too bad.
Smack it on the wall.
My truth this week, I'm also going to go to that Chargers and Patriots game. I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon this week. Had a little bit of an off week last week. This week, going against a bad Patriots defense. Plus, Dante Hightower is out for the season. Just announced this past week. I think it's just going to open up the field for Melvin Gordon. I think he's going to go off.
What can we get a number?
I'm
Some
feeling at
quantity?
least 25.5 PPR. So, at least 24 in standard, 28 in PPR.
Wow. I was going to ask Mike if he thought that Keenan would outscore Melvin, but I don't think he's going to say.
I don't think he's
yes
going to
anymore.
disagree that Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon, I know I like that pick. One thing I want to add real quick about your Bears upset is they just signed Dontrell Inman from the Chargers. Dontrell Inman was maybe the wide receiver 4 or 5 over there in Los Angeles, but I think that they're trying to give Mitch weapons. They obviously have a pretty formidable defense. Is there any reason to add Mitch to your team?
Absolutely not.
I think
Mitchell. Excuse me, guys.
I thought you were going a different direction with the question, and I think
I'd like to be referred as Mitchell, please.
I think Dontrell Inman can find some value because he could become their number one target.
Right.
You never know, especially with the rookie quarterback and the fact that the Bears wide receivers corpse is just decimated.
Is he a deep keeper league ad?
I think you had him because at this point in time, no one on your bench is going to have the quite potential that he could have.
Rest of the season, you like Inman or do you like, what's his name?
Crowder? James Crowder?
No.
Crowder.
Not Crowder.
I don't like Crowder at all.
You like Inman or do you like?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to name another. Kenny Britt? No, he's not. It's kind of hard to name another.
Trust me, you guys got to trust us. We're experts.
Oh, another Bears receiver?
Yeah.
Wait, he's literally not.
Zach Miller's the tight end. That's what I know.
Kendall Wright. Who do you like better? Kendall
Inman.
Wright, Dontrell Inman, the rest of the season.
Inman, but
Still,
I
like Inman better too, but I mean, pick up any of them? No.
Yeah,
He's
I don't
worth
think
a
we're picking
shot.
up
Should
the
have.
rest of season.
I think he's worth a shot.
I
Name
like-
someone on your bench that you're like, oh, he's definitely going to be better than Inman, who has a better potential
Yeah,
than Inman.
no, I
Because
see
Inman
that.
could turn into a number one receiver in Chicago.
I don't think you're picking
But
up.
even if he's a number one receiver in Chicago, is that?
I think
even
if he
worth
gets
anything?
6 to 7 targets, you're picking him up. So let's move on. Who's your truth of it? Oh, we did truth. Just kidding, lol. Buy lows. I have a few buy lows. I'm still going Ingram. Ingram has really good weeks. Hold on. Ingram has 2 really good weeks lined up, and I think that's going to continue. I think that he's still a buy low to his true value. I think it's not a super buy low. He hasn't been. It's not a good player playing bad, but I still think you try to target Ingram if you can. Deion Lewis, I like. Deion Lewis is the second half of the season guy. He was the number 1 Patriots running back 2 years ago. And like I said, Kurtz and Aguilar, they don't have nice names, but they're putting numbers up. So, names over numbers, right? We have
Get on board with that.
Aaron Jones. I like. Ty Montgomery is going to cut into the shares a little bit, especially when he gets completely healthy. But Aaron Jones, if the Packers like him a lot, he'll keep getting those 20 carries, especially with Aaron Rodgers out, and especially in keeper leagues. I like Aaron Jones a lot.
This is interesting. Where does Aaron Jones get drafted in fantasy leagues next year?
3rd round.
I'm thinking 4th round, top 40.
I think end of 3rd round.
I'd pick him at the end of the
It
third round.
depends on what the Packers do with their
Right.
running back core. Shout out to AJ.
Another
again.
shout out to
I love
AJ.
that man,
Yeah,
so.
we just the amount he's
We
paying
wouldn't
us.
have the following we would. We
Right.
do now
With the
without AJ. I mean,
Without
none
AJ.
of this is possible.
My last buy low is, like I
Jeez.
said before, Chris Thompson. Different defenses coming up.
How is he?
Let's
he
just
said
hog the
he's a runner.
segment
I mean-
with 7 buy lows.
Let's just buy
No.
everybody's.
He's a sell high. He's a sell high. I'm sorry.
Can we get him off the mic for a little bit? Let me go into mine. I'll buy low. I'll go for Keenan Allen. Hasn't been producing quite as well, but I like him rest of the season. Sell high. Talked about it last week, but Carlos Hyde, get him off your roster.
Get him off your roster. What are you
I
doing?
don't like him.
Smack him on the
Also,
wall. But he is gonna beat the Eagles this week.
he
The
will
number one ranked-
beat the Philadelphia
He
Eagles.
will have less than 40 yards
Who
rushing
scores
this week.
more points? The Philadelphia defense.
He will definitely have more.
Carlos Hyde.
Wait. Let's do that in a sec. Carlos Hyde will have less or more than 40 rushing yards this week.
40?
I say less.
Ooh.
I'm going over.
Over?
I'll
Over
take
under.
the under.
Hey, BB with the under.
M
Woo!
plus J, Carlos Hyde.
What did you say? Who will score?
Who's going to score more points? The Philadelphia defense against San Francisco at home in the rain, or Carlos Hyde?
No, I like
'Cause guess
I
what?
like straight up Eagles defense or 49ers offense. Who will score more?
That's a good point too.
I'm gonna go.
That rain.
What with a 7-point spread? Who scores more?
It's a
49ers.
13 points.
49ers offense scored by. Oh no, 49ers offense favored by 7, or Eagles defense.
So that means
who will
the
score
Eagles
more?
defense's points in fantasy, or the amount of total
Straight
points the 49ers score.
No. I'm not talking about fantasy. I'm talking about the amount of points the 49ers score
Oh.
on offense, or the amount of defensive touchdowns or safeties.
Watch it happen. But anyways, let me keep going into my segment. Larry Fitzgerald, sell him for anything that you can get him for now. Drew Stanton is not an adequate quarterback in the National Football League.
Not at all.
Larry Fitzgerald, get him off your roster.
When your name is Drew Stanton, and you're born to be a train conductor, or maybe a
Right.
mail clerk, not an NFL quarterback. Sorry, Drew. Shout out to my boy Drew, who's gonna make more money this year than my entire life combined. Okay.
I've seen big things out of Noah in the future.
Oh,
He's
stop it.
a business student at the University of Texas. I don't want to give away too much information, but
Right. We have viewers all around the country. We gotta get some death threats.
Can we get an
sometimes.
address?
Yeah.
not going to give an address.
Social security number?
Address is University of Texas. Social security number is 40 acres, baby.
Hell yeah. All right, going into my my buy low, I'm going to go with Adam Thielen right now.
Thielen.
He's a buy
Thielen.
low?
He's a little bit of a buy low. For his value, I think it's a good time to buy him. Last week he didn't have too good of a game, but his targets are still there. If you look at the beginning of the year, he was getting the same amount of targets when Stephon Diggs was playing. So I don't think him coming back this week is going to change him at all. So I like Adam Thielen. For my sells,
Real quick,
every single Packers
on the opposite end
receiver.
of a bad name for football, Drew Stanton, Stephon Diggs, a great name for football.
Very true.
Yeah, continue.
My sells right now, you got to go with every Packers receiver. Jordy, Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb. Sell
How
them
much
all.
are you going to get for them?
I don't think you're
And
going to get anything for him.
Fitzgerald, but
Would you
still,
give up-
I don't think that you should have him on your team.
Would you give up Jordy
The thing
for
is,
Devontae Parker?
you're going to have to package Jordy with
right.
another
Would
player
you give
to
up,
get
Would
something.
you give up Jordy for Devontae Parker?
No.
No. I don't think Devontae Parker's that good.
He's
think
number,
he's
number 9.
when healthy, he's
scoring when
solid.
he's healthy, and he was almost going to come back this week. Is an early game of the week. What about Devontae Adams for Devontae Parker? Devontae for Devontae.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I wouldn't.
Gotta go with Parker.
I'll go with Parker. Parker.
Out of the 1 week sample size
Hold on.
we've seen there.
Parker versus Parker. Rest of the season, y'all have Devontae.
No.
I mean,
That's two just brain farts.
Oh God.
Noah's parents, if you are still listening,
I need to
shout out
say.
to Noah's mom.
I need to take a
shout
time
out Noah's mother. It's
I meant Devontae.
Shout
all right.
out
Let me
Noah's sister.
take over. What do we got next? So let's go into jamming.
All right, you already messed up. We gotta go to
It's
sell highs
literally
now.
we literally just did sell highs, buddy, because you
Well,
said
you
Chris.
know-
Thompson.
I didn't get my sell highs in. Chris Thompson.
Oh, boy.
Make sure you're getting top 10 value for him somewhere. Fuller still. Reed. Kenny Stills had a pretty good week this week, not as good as the last
Jordan
two.
Reed is
And then
referring
Jordan Reed, excuse me. And then my guy over here, I gotta agree with him with Carlos Hyde. And I actually did get a little value for Terrell Pryor just on name this week. I gave away Tariq and Pryor for Dion Lewis. And
Tariq as in
Tariq Cohen. No, not the other
Oh
Tariq.
gosh.
I was
not
about to
Tariq.
say.
Should we
Yeah,
call
I
it?
like that trade.
Yeah, I like that trade too. So prior, little name left. Try to get him off your team. Let's go Jammin. So Jammin, as y'all know, is our mini fantasy league here at Fantasy45 podcast, and I think that's all you need to know. Let's go on to the next.
DFS league.
Yeah, let's go to the next segment.
Let's
We don't have to talk
refer
about- oh,
to
God.
back to last week. Jammin' results.
I was robbed.
I beat both of
So
them.
in third place we have Noah, and before you all say anything, I want to say that I had Carson Palmer with 2.9.
And then I'll add, even
And
if he
2 point-
didn't get hurt,
Hold on.
he still would have got last.
All right, but not by that much, and that's what matters. Carson Palmer got injured, and he put up 2.9 points for me, and I ended the day with 26.1 points. Jared in second place, just squeaking out. Mike went get the wins, but Jared with 49.2 points, and Mike 54.2 points. Mike and Jared were a few basic bitches, getting Tyrod Taylor with 20 points.
Is it smart, or is it like,
I would say
or
it's
is it
basic.
smart?
I think it's just smart.
I think it's
Tyrod
just
Taylor-
being
Tyrod
smart.
Taylor
If
last
a
week.
basic bitch is going to Starbucks to get a vanilla latte,
It's not. No,
that's smart.
Tyrod Taylor is the pumpkin spice of last week.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Oh,
and
it's almost Halloween.
and he's the pumpkin spice of the future.
Let's
I
move
believe
on
that.
to our rosters this week.
All right, our GM rosters this week. So before we move on, we have how it's going to work is each player will play the other, or each guy will play the other two players. So right now, Mike's 2-0, Jared's 1-1, and yours truly is 0-2. This week, our GM rosters. Let's hear it, guys.
Just a little reminder of the rules. It's a QB outside the top 10, 2 running backs outside the top 15, 2 receivers outside the top 15, and a tight end not named Ertz.
Zerts,
Gronk.
say it
Ertz,
correctly.
as someone called.
Ertz,
Gronk.
Gronk,
And
or
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Non-PPR. We're not PPR sluts.
This is in ESPN's
PPR
forecast
sluts.
for week 8.
Sluts. Okay. On my team,
Start off, Noah.
at QB, we have Andy Dalton. Ooh, against the Colts. And he's not a pretty name. It's like
There's no need to elaborate.
What
Just
a
get to your
terrible
roster.
he is
Get to
like,
your roster.
What a terrible
He is
pick.
like chocolate covered
Almonds.
green beans.
Oh.
No, almonds are dope. Chocolate covered green beans, because the chocolate's you're gonna just eat it and you're gonna taste the chocolate, but don't think about the green bean. Just taste the chocolate against the Colts. Yeah. If you guys have the same quarterback putting up 20 and Andy Dalton goes out for the season with 2.9 points
Andy
again.
Dalton is garbage, so I gotta say.
He went to TCU.
He's not
Enough
not
said.
garbage. At running back,
Shout out
I
to Andy
have, I wrote down Mixon / Thompson. And Mixon's my guy, but I gotta go with Thompson. And then my other running back is Blunt. Wide receiver, I
Can you
have
cross out the other one just to make sure that
Yeah,
you...
sorry.
Let's
Sorry.
not pull an Amari Cooper from last
Right.
I
week.
was robbed of my victory.
Can you...
Let's
Let's
move
move
on.
on. Let's get
move
going.
on.
and then I have Kelvin Benjamin, Stephon Diggs. Tight end, I have Hunter Henry. Wait, can we just? I want to get a quick hearing from our in-house judge. Should Jared be point penalized for cheating last week in jamming?
Yeah, I should be penalized 20 points, and I still get
And he
second.
still
I'm
gets
still
second.
1-1.
Points are not a tie-breaking here.
It hurts.
Right. It's
It
okay.
hurts.
It's Zerts. Jared, let's hear it.
All right.
Everybody hurts.
At quarterback, I'm going to go with the stud, Andy Dalton.
Oh,
against
boy.
the Colts.
Yeah, attaboy.
So BB is going with Andy Dalton. At running back, also going with Thompson, but I'm going with McKinnon this week. I think it's McKinnon has got the same amount of carries as he's been getting. He just didn't see the touchdowns last week. Latavius did get more carries, but I still think McKinnon's the running back.
Yeah,
in
both
Minnesota.
Vikings running backs are good plays this week.
I think McKinnon's a running back too, and Latavius is a flex this week.
Yeah.
At receiver, I got Amari Cooper, as always. AJ Green had over 100 yards receiving against the Bills.
Please
I'm
don't
not
do what
saying
you're about to
Amari
do.
Cooper
Please
is
do not say
AJ
what you're
Green,
about to say.
But I think Amari Cooper could go.
Please stop talking.
Amari Cooper could go for 50 yards and a touchdown this week.
Okay.
And then I got Stephon Diggs.
So
wide receiver.
LeBron James just had a triple-double against the Brooklyn Nets. Does that mean the starter, the best player on the next team the Brooklyn Nets plays, should get a triple-double?
Yeah, that's pretty
My
much.
tight end is also Hunter Henry.
Oh, my gosh. Y'all are...
That is your winning lineup this week.
So here from your 2-0, let's go with quarterback, Jameis Winston.
Woo!
Keep it easy.
What a terrible pick.
Keep it easy. Running back, because Andy Dalton
Jameis Winston against the Panthers bold.
and
Very bold.
you always boost anyone that's playing the Colts, and if the Bengals get up early, a heavy dosage of Joe Mixon
I like
as my
Mixon
running
a lot,
back.
but I think I think Gio and Jeremy Hill are still going to be in there.
I don't. Mixon was
Mixon's
pissed.
yards per
Mixon's
carry
about
is
to
just
get.
not good.
He had 7 rushes for 49 yards
I do
last
like
week. It's
Mixon
getting
a lot
up there.
this week as well.
Next running back, Christopher Thompson. Solid play.
How is he not in the top 15?
Dallas defense. Enough said there.
What?
Wide receivers.
That was terrible.
That's why I'm starting Chris Thompson.
no.
I'm saying, why is he not in the top 15?
Because there's
Yeah.
14 other running
You know,
backs.
the other guys that I just the experts
15
rank
other running
super
backs.
low every week is my guy Nelson Aguilar.
So
and
can I get on with my team?
Yes, Mike.
Yeah,
what
I
are
think
your,
he's around
what are
30
your two
this week.
receivers?
So we went Jameis, Joe Mixon, Chris Thompson. Receiver, we got Thielen and Curse, 2 names that have been mentioned. And then at tight end, Jordan Reed.
ooh,
Against Dallas, he finds the end zone. Who's going to cover him? Jeff Heath, really? Really?
another example of a mailman garbage truck driver, Jeff Heath.
Jordan Reed will find the end zone. Keep it simple. There's your winning roster.
Okay,
All right, we will see by next week who actually has the best
Right.
record.
I'm gonna put up my prediction. Noah will be 2-2. Mike's gonna be
Wow.
3-1, and Jared's gonna be 1-3. Smack that on the wall.
That
All right,
is-
let's talk about a little hot topics. It's getting hot in here. So let's talk about hot topics. Yeah, go for it, Mike.
So we're going to change sports here, change gears here.
Damn.
I had to bring this up at least once. We do have a Los Angeles Dodgers fan in the house. One of the best World Series, one of the best baseball games I've seen in a while.
What
And
a
for
game.
it to be in a World Series.
I hate Houston.
The Houston
so much.
Astros, I don't like them, but to be the first team to hit a home run in the 9th, 10th, and 11th innings, it kind of reminded me of the 2011 World Series,
I don't know if I hate the Astros.
where my Texas Rangers choked against the St. Louis
I
Cardinals.
don't know if I hate the Astros, the Houston Rockets, or the San Francisco Giants more.
You know,
It's honestly, it's
very.
hard.
This is why I think the Astros are going to win the World Series. This was the first game of the year where the Dodgers
Right.
were leading in the 8th inning and lost the game.
I
I think Dodgers have a better roster. The Dodgers have better
I will
pitching.
give one counterexample.
I think the Dodgers have better hitting. But you know who has more heart? You know who wants it bad? Just like the Cleveland Browns or the Jacksonville Jaguars of the world, the Houston Astros were the laughingstock of the MLB for basically our entire childhood. They were a terrible team,
As it should be.
and they won it more. The Dodgers, they've had Hall of Famers galore. They've had World Series. They don't want it. They
I
don't
would
want it
take
deep down.
I would take Houston's top 4 hitters over any other 4 hitters on any other team.
Bold.
I agree.
George
Who wins the
Springer,
World
Alex
Series?
Bregman. I think the Astros win.
So we got
In what
we got
game?
in all of
7.
the games.
Game
Oh,
7?
I think it's 7.
7 me too.
But I think Dave Roberts lost that game for the Dodgers.
I think so too. If Morrow, who is a very good setup man, he's been absolutely lights out. He gives up one hit on a ball that Puig could have caught, and you're taking him out to
Yeah.
put Kenley Jansen in for a 2-inning save when he pitched the night before. You can't be doing that.
If you have that mentality, like that, if you put him in knowing that if he gives up a base runner, he's getting pulled, you should not put him in the first place.
Yeah.
You should say.
I will say though,
And
coming into
How
the
many
series,
pitchers pitched?
We
No.
had to think the Dodgers are going to lose the games that Justin Verlander starts. So that's 2 games. That's the mentality that I'm going with.
Let me just say real quick, as a Tigers fan, I grew up with a great team. We had Cabrera, we had V-Mart, we had Scherzer, Verlander, we had Doug Fister when he was hot, and we were on the playoffs every week. I mean every year. I remember coming home after school every day to watch the ALDS, to watch the ALCS, 2 years to watch the World Series, and they couldn't get it done. The Tigers had great management. They had a great GM and coach, but they just could not get their World Series win. And just like I really had hoped Calvin Johnson would find a better team to go win a World Series. To go win, he probably could win a World Series. He's that good. But to go win a Super Bowl with, I'm very happy to see Verlander on a World Series team that's very promising. Obviously, Verlander has been there before, but it's nice to see him on a little better place.
But back to this, Rich Hill.
I have a few
Rich Hill
few
should have
tiers.
pitched another.
4 innings. I think you put him out. You put him out there. Try to let him finish the 5th, and then once you do that, Kenta Maeda pitched an inning and a third. That's solid. Tony
That's a
Watson
good
then
baseball
finished that inning, so pitched 2/3 of an inning. That's fine. But then you have Ross Stripling come in, pitch to one batter who he walks, then gets pulled. Then you have Morrow finish the inning, so Morrow pitched a full inning. And if you're going to put Morrow back in there with the idea of bringing Kenley in if he gives up a base runner, just put Kenley in. If there's a situation where you're going to make him come into the game and get 6 outs, just literally make him start that inning and get 6 outs.
Okay.
And then you deplete your bullpen, and then you pitch
We went
Justin
through-
Fields.
Let's get back to the best sport in America. I
Soccer?
think these people. No, it's
Basketball?
Trinidad and Tobago.
golf. Tiger Woods is gonna no. Right. So Martavis Bryant got. He's not injured or whatever. He got benched. He's on the scout team right now. Juju Smith-Schuster, maybe the best name in football, is a guy to pick
Another
up.
USC alumni.
More like
We're gonna
Yannick and
cut out
Godwin.
USC people altogether. Last hot topic: Dolphins Ravens. What a shit game. Terrible.
What a terrible. I'd rather just not talk about it. I'm
Is-
facing the Ravens defense this week. Let's just not talk about it.
Is
Yeah.
Saxonville one of the best nicknames for a defense or a team that you've heard?
I
I
think
can't-
the nickname is accurate, but it's disgusting.
Disgusting.
I know 2 defenses that have nicknames.
It sounds like
Legion
the
of Boom.
And there was one point in
It
time in
sounds
which,
like the
but there was a
saxophone
point in
capital
time
of
in
the
which they
world.
tried to implement those nicknames,
Yeah.
and that's what's going on right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars are on pace to break the NFL record for sacks in a season.
Hey, we're very happy for you over there, Mike.
Thank
Glad
you.
that
All
you
right.
had a
Make sure you
sheet
stop by Saxonville. Make sure you stop by Saxonville, the saxophone capital of the world, to pick up alto, baritone, and tenor sax, and woo the ladies with your sax skills. Saxonville, best saxes. Oh God, that's embarrassing.
Shout out Noah's mom.
Shout out Noah's mom.
that was
Mom, you did a great job raising me, right, guys?
100%.
Could have been better, but you
Hey,
know.
you can always improve. Next
can-
time, Mom. Next time, you'll get them for sure.
You raised your daughter.
This has been another episode of Fantasy45 Podcast, Episode 3, Week 8. Signing out. I look forward to the Lions demolishing the Steelers this week, as I said during the podcast. Love you guys. Oh, wait, where was all our NFL players? We'll get them next time. Bye, guys.